cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna leave. I'ma get right. Get right. Down to the bottom and scratch it for all the...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I gotta give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves up.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta, and this is Get Right Fantasy Network. And I'm here on Monday, August 12th. The best part about that means there's only 24 more days until week 1 of the NFL season. We're just outside of 3 weeks, man. I'm getting so excited. Got drafts kicking off, doing redraft. I have an auction draft this Sunday, I believe, coming up on the 18th. I just saw you renewed our home leagues, and so that gets me excited. So time to defend my belt and my ring, so I'm excited about that, man. Fantasy is in the air. I'm here with my boy, Fish and Frank. Frank, what up, man? How excited are you?
Yes, and the countdown continues, man. I'm so excited. Like you mentioned, I did renew our leagues here. One league's fully done. Everybody's returning. Got a couple other guys. Get some new guys in the league. Something that happens. I mean, we'd love to keep all the same guys all the time, but people move on and change, or got other things going on in their lives. So yeah, I know. Preseason just happened. A couple games that actually kind of showed some, Caleb Williams, some rookies that we wanted to check out and see how they did. And just see some football in general. Fortunately, there was some
actual starters playing. Yeah, even though it was only a little taste, it was nice to see.
Yeah, exactly. Some teams actually put out some people that you're like, oh, okay, just to knock that rust off and whatever.
Stroud to Dell connection looked good.
Yeah,
James Daniels had a nice throw, like you said. Caleb Williams out there throwing darts.
Oh, yeah.
It's
who was it? The surprise guy. It was the New England guy. He's like the third wide quarterback on their set right now, but that dude was on fire. He was balling out too.
Was it Zappy?
No, not Zappy. It's I'll give you the name here.
I didn't watch the New England one yet.
Yeah, I watched a little bit, but yeah. Anyways, football is back, man. Basically,
we're there, man.
I feel like we're on the countdown for the week to start. Drafts are going to start happening. I'm gonna start talking to them boys here about getting into a vampire league or whatever it's called, or the zombie league or something. Just different types of leagues to get into, aside just from a regular, a Superflex or PPR or a keeper league, or even our home,
have you ever done a guillotine league?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want to get into something like
Maybe
that.
We should do a Get Right Guillotine League, man. If you guys are interested and want to get in a guillotine league, let me know, man. Hit me up. If we can get 18 total people, I mean, I'm in it, you're in it, so we only need 16 more.
Yeah, exactly.
Drop a comment on this video if you want to get in the guillotine league. Hashtag GRFN guillotine. And we'll
on anybody, right? But
yeah, let's get one going. Those are easy. They're fun to manage, and you just don't want to be the first one out, Dustin. Shout out to the Dynasty Pylon Guillotine League a couple years ago. This guy was drafting DeAndre Hopkins, who was on suspended. That's a little aspirations, if you ask me. You go get a guy who's suspended 6 games, thinking you're going to make it 6 weeks in. You better get people who are going to help you now in a guillotine league. That's how drafts are different, in guillotine. You're just trying to win week 1 and then go from there.
Yeah,
because your team will get better. Right. Yeah, you just want the best starters. So it's real fun. We'll get into that, man. I'm down to get in a guillotine league with you, man. I'll commission it. We can co-commission it together. I'll kind of show you how to run it. I mean, it's pretty simple, but it is a lot of work. So it'd be nice if there was 2 of us that could do it. So, yeah, man. If you guys are interested, drop it in the chat right now. We'll come back to it. Yeah. Damon says he plays in a guillotine league. There we go. We got Awesome Eckler in the house, man. It's go time. He's excited. He was in the semis.
Yeah.
He's here to
He
see
was
if
in
he
the
made
semi.
top
See what
3,
we
top
did.
6.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. Awesome Eckler said he's never tried it, but it sounds great. So for those who don't know what a guillotine league is, basically it's 18 teams because there's 17 weeks, and then you need one extra because the championship game. Basically, the lowest scoring team, it doesn't matter about wins or losses. Basically, you're just scoring the most points. Whoever scores the least amount of points, that last team, the entire team goes on the waiver wire. So I like there. You can play two ways. I like doing fab, so then it's like an auction for those guys on the waiver wire the next week. Or some people do just like a waiver wire order. So whoever was the second lowest scoring team gets first pick, so on and so forth. And so there's some strategy sometimes that goes on with Monday night, depending on how you have that set up. Because if it is like inverse scoring, you can sit guys like on Monday night if you want to, get a lower score to get a higher, draft pick, which is kind of like a different strategy, a different way of playing, which I like.
Again, basically, yeah.
Yeah, I did that in the one I did because it wasn't a fab, and I almost lost. Like I almost literally got last because of some guy I was playing just had a defensive guy. It was IDP guillotine. And this defensive guy just went off, like had a pick 6. And I was like, I barely won by like 1 point and ended up still getting their first pick. But yeah, it was crazy, dude. It was like so stupid. So, but it brings an extra, it brings an extra part. Yeah. So he said that's wild. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun, man. So every week more guys come on the wire and then you're just bidding for those guys. And then, so by the end of it, it's just 2 teams in week 17 and they play against each other for the championship. And those teams are just stacked. Like, it's just 2 behemoths stacked against each other because every week you're just dropping guys and just your bench and your depth and everything just keeps getting better and better. So it's a lot of fun, man. So yeah, Damon said he played in one like that last year and it's risky business. And Mason said he's down for it, man. So make sure you guys, I know Mason and Awesome Eckler, Damon, if you know my Sleeper handle as well, shoot me a DM on Sleeper. And we'll get invites out to you guys, and we'll just say the first 16 people that DM me will get in the guillotine league, man.
Let's do it. We'll keep it until we get at 16, but I don't think it will take that long.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, and that we haven't even talked to the Get Right guys. I'm sure Kendall and Phil might want to get in there as well too. So I'm sure it'll fill fast, man.
Thanos on Stable
oh, that's Thanos. Oh, okay. What's up, man? How's it going? So yeah, so.
We need a relationship.
Yeah, man, I'm excited now. Yeah,
we talked about that last week where we're like, we know your YouTube channel, but what you're we're the same on both platforms, all platforms basically. We keep
just try to stay the same.
Yeah, but there's a guy, so we have to like kind of like figure out who's like make the names match basically.
Right, good stuff.
Keep a list.
All right, man. So yeah, so without any further ado, man, we'll get into it here. Of course, we're going to be going over the top 6 teams here from the semifinal round. Obviously, the guys who place 4th, 5th, and 6th are going to be the alternates into the finale. So they still have a slight chance, just for whatever reason, someone can't make the August 30th finale. They could get an invite to that. So, we'll see what happens. Otherwise, everyone, lobbies are open this week. Make sure you guys get into them. There are, I think, about 12 to 16 spots still available out of 48. For this week still, so it has been filling well. We did our Monday one tonight already, so that was good. Yeah, man. So we'll get into the small tournament. We'll explain that a little more as well. But before we do, we have our new announcement of our in-season schedule. Yeah. So Frank, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you here real quick and let you know. But before Rafi said, he said that sounds crazy. Really pissed off when your studs take a and you lose that week. Yeah, man. So. It's rough, man. Yeah, it's rough. All right, so go ahead. Tell them about our new in-season schedule, man. What we got going on?
Quick, I want to mention the guy. I couldn't remember his name. I just looked him up. Joe Milton III. He just went 4 of 6, 54 yards and a touchdown. But I mean, for what he did over there in New England with the garbage, it's not bad. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of rather impressive. The way he did it would look good. So, anyways, so here we go. Our new schedule here coming up once the season starts. In season, we got Mondays is Ant and Frank again here. Myself. We recap and do waiver wires on Monday, 9 p.m. Tuesdays, we got Tycoon coming in at 7 p.m. For the fantasy boardroom. Wednesdays is Ant and myself again. We're doing the roster management at 9 p.m. Kind of, just kind of figure out who you're going to get started, who's going to get up, how to get, construct your stuff, get ready for the week here, because Thursday, obviously, there's a game going on. So Thursday, Phil is going to be at 4:15 p.m.
I think he said just 4. He's going to be at 4.
So 4.
Yeah. I'll check
4.
it
So
right
a few hours before the game, and he's doing his extra point on that day. And then we got 2 shows on Friday. So Friday show 1 is going to be Mike and Kendall at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. It's doing a sit start part 1, and then a Friday show at the second one is going to be Ant and Phil going on at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, doing sit and start part 2. So if you miss one, you can get in on the other. Ask your questions before the weekend.
No, actually, we're just splitting it, because that show used to be like 4 hours long. So we're gonna do it a little earlier for the East Coast folks, so they can get their live Q&A in. So about 6 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and they're gonna do half the games, the start sit, and then Phil and I are gonna do another 2 hours or so, start sit and game by game breakdown. So you may have to pop in and out. We'll have the chapters in each one of them, so you can just go to specific games like we did last year. But of course, that time will also be if you tune in to us live. We will take as many live start sit questions as we can.
That's usually why they become 2-hour shows, because
right.
We're answering everybody's questions. Mostly it's about the people that you guys that come watch us, and we're here for you guys. So that's why, we'll take a 2-hour show.
Talk it out.
And it's if you're into fantasy, it's good listen, good hear, you know what I mean? Be part of it.
It's like get talking at the bar with your buddies, man. That's what we wanted.
Exactly. Get some tidbits going here. And hopefully it helps you win your league. I mean, quite a few guys last year came back and said, hey, your guys' help won my league. So Saturday, we got Cody McGoats, formerly as the Check Down Podcast, is now hosting a new show called The Sweet Life Football. So that's coming soon here. Cody McGoats there. And then Sunday, we always had Mike, Classic Mike at 8 a.m. here, Pacific. Active, inactive, live Q&A, start sit advice, leading you right off into kickoff. And he also does I think DFS picks, right?
Yeah, little DFS, some stuff like that.
But for right now, what are we doing right now, Ant? There's still the regular schedule.
Yeah, so we still have those 24 more days that we're here. So during that time, we are going to, again, like today, basically running our mock draft tournament, which we'll get into here in a second. We will be announcing those finalists on Monday nights. Wednesdays will still be our best ball, you and I on here, hopefully banging out some best ball manias or whatever other tournaments they may have going on at that time that we have to sneak into before they close. And then Fridays are going to be live streaming those semi final rounds. We'll have different guests and combinations of us on here giving commentary on our on the draft, the draft happening live. And then again, start it all over until we get these 12 finalists in here, man. We want the best of the best Get Right Fantasy drafters out there, all competing for $50 cash prize, but more than anything, just getting in some good competitive mocks to hopefully get some good practice in to take down the real money.
And I can tell you, the best of the best really do show on Fridays, because those are harder to kind of grade, look at, and make decisions on. You're like, oh, that's pretty good. That's a good team. And I was like, oh, wait a minute here. You got to start nitpicking at that point. So without further ado, right? Let's get this thing.
Let's get into it, man.
Here.
So let's pull it up. Go ahead. We'll pull it up here. So again, if you guys were drafting here, you're in the chat. If you guys do have questions, once we go over the teams and announce them, if you happen to not be top 6, but you are here, let us know. We'll review your team, let you know where we personally had it ranked, and if we agree or disagree with what the consensus was. Because again, a lot of the times my first place team may not even make top 6, and vice versa. If you guys watched last week, I think almost second and third place last week weren't even on Frank and I's top 6. So we kind of were like, we disagree with this. Yeah. So we'll see what happens tonight. So I'm excited to get into it, man. So without any further ado, let's get these guys announced. So we will start with the 6th place team here, who's technically going to be one of the alternates should someone not show up, but again, still placed top 6 here in consensus. And that was the guy Drafting out of the 12th spot of all places, Mr. Sinker DFS. What up, Sinker man? Congratulations. Like, kinda. I mean, you did well. You placed top 6. You're better than at least half the folks here on consensus.
Yeah.
It's hard to please 6 different people, but you were able to do that. So let's go through your team here and break it down. So first we had in the first round in the 12th spot, of course, he's going to zag when everyone else is zigging. So he goes Brees Hall, Justin Jefferson, forgoes kind of the bottom end of the tier quarterbacks there to try to gain, some advantage at some positional players. Followed with a double tap of quarterback here with Jaden Daniels and Trevor Lawrence. So still ended up with 2 decent quarterbacks, at least one with rushing upside. So that's good there. Then he goes on a wide receiver one with T. Higgins, Tank Dell, Rashee Rice. That's a hell of a wide receiver room there in a hero RB build while still getting his 2 quarterbacks already here through the 7th. Then he goes on a little running back run here to kind of complete that hero RB build with David Montgomery, Tony Pollard, and Gus Edwards. Obviously, that Dave Montgomery pick's looking real interesting right now with the Jahmyr Gibbs injury that we'll get into here, I'm sure, tonight. And then he rounds off his wide receiver room with Romeo Doubs, then takes Chuba Hubbard as one of those guys who can maybe just get work early in that hero RB build. So we'll see what happens there. And then double taps tight end here where, definitely the weakest part, waiting this long, getting Musgrave and Cole Kmet. That might have been maybe what did it for him to maybe not get a little higher than 6. But Frank, where did you have Sinker's team ranked, or did you even have it ranked? What's your feedback here?
Well, you know what? I don't think I had him ranked, but I did like the team, and I think that's what sank it for me as far as, not getting him ranked. I did like the team. I do like the build for the most part. I just didn't like that he just waited that long to take his tight ends. I was like, it is a weak spot. I mean, you could at some point that Gus Edwards, Tony Pollard range, maybe, took a tight end somewhere in there that was a little bit better than the last 2 that he ended up getting with in Luke Musgrave and Cole Kmet. Besides that, I mean, like you're saying, hero RB build with Bijan Robinson, taking some nice wide receivers. I also would have taken, instead of Trevor Lawrence, I would have took Caleb Williams there. Like, I wouldn't have let Caleb slide. You know what I mean? I think that would have maybe even solidified him a little bit better because Trevor Lawrence just did not have the best year last year, and I don't think he's going to – nothing has changed enough over there to make me think.
And they took away Ridley and replaced him with a rookie, so.
Yeah. So it doesn't –
although I did like that ETN route, that little Texas route that ETN ran. And they did say they want to try to get him more involved in the passing game, so it was great to see that happen. So yeah, ETN to the moon, baby. Let's go. Yeah, right. 3 down back. I need it for our dynasty team, man. Let's go. Let's make a run. Right.
And
so
like
so
David Montgomery
go ahead.
Too, because David Montgomery, we were just hearing about this injury.
This was prior, though. This was prior to the news. This was Friday.
I always liked David Montgomery, though, because as I mentioned, he's already eaten into Gibbs' touches. Montgomery's no slouch. Yes, Gibbs is more explosive, younger, so on and so forth, maybe. But I think Montgomery's still very viable running back there. You know what I mean? So I do like the Tony Pollard pick. He seemed to be stretching himself away from the Tyler Gillier there anyways. Or, I mean, Tajay Spears.
Tajay Spears. Yeah,
Tajay Spears over there in Tennessee. So he did seem to separate himself from him this weekend, which is, again, important why you got to see these and, evaluate these guys. He looked like the guy from, where Dallas was hoping to have him. And I think it'll be better for him to be in a split anyways. But yeah, it's just, those, again, like that quarterback pick, the 2 late on the tight end. I think that's what did him in for the most part, but everything else was looking top, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially the structure.
Right. And out of the 12th spot, he did it pretty well. Like you said, I would just, nitpick and went Caleb over Lawrence as well. Let me see where I had him ranked. I actually had Sinker as my 4th place team. So I was a little higher than consensus on this team. And it definitely would have been higher for me had he gone with Jake Ferguson instead of Chuba Hubbard here. And then I think this team is fantastic. Probably shoots up to probably about 2nd, at least 3rd, if not 2nd place Yeah, probably second place if you just had Ferguson there and Caleb Williams. So well
Right.
done, Sinker. Again, shout out to
little
the
tweaks would have been that much better, right? Like that much.
absolutely. And we're splitting hairs. Again, these are the top guys of the week, the top 3 from all 4 last week. So again, these guys know what they're doing. A lot of them returning. Some guys were in the semifinal the first week as well. So they definitely know what we're looking for to be able to advance here. And again, sometimes that may not be what you personally believe. It just, the whole goal is to try to advance. It's a game, right? So it's, the time to do it, when you advance, do what you want in the best ball league when you're actually playing for the money. Right now, you just got to play towards us a little bit, a little ego driven, I guess, right?
But
Playing
it's
towards
so
us.
spread out now. I mean, it's not a little bit because honestly, it used to be more so now. Now we got 6 guys,
different
7
people,
guys,
yeah.
6 different people grading this.
It's all
So
over
I
the
mean,
place.
the consensus is the consensus. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just me and Anthony looking at these guys and making decisions on you guys. There's
Right.
4 other guys that actually they have more weight than we do. So I mean, like,
Technically, yeah, it's 4
we're
on
just bringing
2.
the news to you guys about it. Honestly.
We're the bearers of bad news sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So whoever didn't make
or
but
good
that is
news.
good, decent
Also
team.
good
I mean,
news though.
I think that's good. Good feedback as to like maybe taking the Caleb Williams.
Ferguson right there
Not
is a
waiting for
dream.
the longest time for the tight end. Exactly. I mean, those are, and I mean, this is why it's a mock anyway. So you're gonna get your errors out of your way now. That way, when you're in your real draft, you're just crushing it.
For sure. And shout out to Sinker DFS, man. Pleasure having him here. I've been on his show before. Shout out to the Fantasy Fan Line. They actually have a cool concept with their show. That it's a call-in show. So you go on live with them. They'll take live Q&A from their subscribers. So it's a lot of fun, man. They booked me last year. Had a good time with them. I'm in their chats as well too. I think they're going to be getting geared up here soon. We almost had them on as a guest earlier, but they were kind of still in their off season. So looking forward to connecting with them here again this season. So, all right. So let's move on here. Frank, go ahead and tell us who the 5th place team is.
So in the 5th place, we get Met 26 here.
In the 5 spot.
Makes the 26, makes in the 5 spot. He actually ranked him, so I'm happy for him here. He was right in the middle for me.
Your 4th?
The 3rd, 4th. Is it 4th?
4th, yeah.
Yeah. So he starts off with Lamar Jackson here, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle. So takes 3 wide receivers off the bat. Comes in with his running back, Ken Walker. Takes his 2nd QB in Aaron Rodgers. Comes back with another running back and Connor, and then he takes his 1 tight end that he needs here, and David Njoku. So he fills out basically a starting lineup right there. He's got the 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, the tight end. Looking for his flex at this point. So it takes Jackson Smith and Jigba at Seattle, which is a 2nd Seattle guy that he got over here with Ken Walker. Devin Singletary, nice little pick. Trey Benson, Zach Charbonnet.
3rd Seattle guy.
And then a 3rd Seattle guy, right? And Zach Charbonnet. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we go Bo Nix. He's taking a flyer.
He looked good this weekend. Yeah, he looked
did
good.
look good this weekend.
And that throw in the end zone, that's a tough throw to the outside like that.
I'm not sure if he's moving up that much, but they did say he had 4 out of the 5 plays. He had game-winning or scoring drives or whatever that he put together here. So that's important, and he did come in late in the 3rd and, put in the scoring drive. He did pretty good. So I'm not sure if he's going to get the start this year, though. That's the question. And then takes a last pick with Dalton Schultz, another nice.
You think it's really going to be Jared Stidham or Zach Wilson? That's who he's competing with.
Yeah,
versus the guy who just got taken, what?
8th?
Yeah, something like that. 8th or 9th overall. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know about that.
It may help him. It may help him develop when you're just sit back and watch. Instead of just getting thrown.
Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. But I mean, it's just to see who actually starts over there. But yeah, like I said, I got him in the 4th here in my spots here. I'd rank them. I like the team overall. Didn't make it in there, but again, he just ended up in the 5th spot here as far as the rankings is concerned.
There you go. Yeah, so good job, Mick. Appreciate you coming out, man, all the time. Good drafter here. But yeah, man, what I actually had him ranked as my 6th place team, so I guess technically I was a little lower on consensus on this one. For me,
But you did have him.
yeah, I mean, it was still 6 because I like a lot of these quarterback rooms I wasn't really fond of because a lot of people waited for that second quarterback. Like nobody just had like crazy studs, like only a couple people did. But then
Yeah,
the
only a
rest of their
couple
team
people took
hurt.
him right off the bat.
So it was
yeah.
it was just a very interesting draft to rank. It really, and I was mentioning it on Friday. It's going to really test like how comfortable am I really with that second quarterback, and I think this mock did it. But this was one of the ones. Again, it was 6th place for me, but just it would have been higher maybe if we didn't have that triple stack with Walker, JSN, and Charbonnet. Other than that, I mean, as far as just a breakdown, like I'm not again the biggest Rodgers fan, but his only other option was Watson. Maybe he goes Baker Mayfield there, instead, or Kirk Cousins. But again, just kind of the way the draft kind of fell. People were kind of waiting for quarterbacks, so who knows? What kind of it was there? Maybe
Everybody's
that's who
playing
he
the
was targeting.
pinch game. Let's see who goes and who goes on the
Right.
roster. Quarterbacks.
And again,
I'm looking at the draft though. If you really look at it, they did wait, and the people who did wait took a third quarterback. There's a lot of teams with 3 quarterbacks.
right,
Because I think
as you
they
should
feel
if you
that
take your second one later. Yeah.
late like that. I think that I just want to mention that because I think people need to hear that you might want to take 3 altogether if you're doing the playing in the waiting game, basically.
If
you
I'm
take
getting
2
2 within the
top
first like
easy, it's
4 or 5 picks, yeah, I can't waste another draft spot on a third quarterback.
on a quarterback. Exactly. It's
You
too
have to
late
take your
be
shots at the running back and wide receiver position and hope you get a league winner there.
exactly. So if you wait, you can wait in the waiting game. You're going to have to take 2 at least, or it should benefit your team
Right.
to do so.
Know your
Um,
tier so you're comfortable with that. But yeah. So anyway, so I had it as my 6th place team here. Again, that triple stack there. I did like the Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, so maybe he was planning that, purposely why he didn't take Mayfield or Cousins ahead of Rodgers. Again, just depending on how you feel about Rodgers, there's the whole stat about him not throwing for like a 300-yard game and who knows how long. So that's why it was 6 for me, 5th overall. So we will continue to move on here. So our 4th place team, and this was a tough one because this one was actually a tie. So our 3rd and 4th place team came down to a tie. Someone's making the finale because of a tiebreaker. So unfortunately, this guy, you did score on consensus the same as the 3rd place team, except for you lost the tiebreaker. So I'm not going to get into the whole breakdown of the tiebreaker. I'm just going to say you lost it just barely, man. So it was a good team. And this guy here, 4th place, Mr. Flag RJ. Hell of a team. There's a couple picks here why I think it just didn't quite make it all the way. I know, guys like Phil and Kendall, I don't think they're big on Watson. I don't think I am personally, either. You're not feeling Watson, so that might have been kind of the pick that kind of did it in there. Maybe like a Geno, or I don't know if I'm more comfortable with Will Levis over Watson, but I feel literally more comfortable with Geno than I do Watson. At least his shoulder wasn't falling off. I mean, he's older, but he has some nice weapons over there. Plays in a little better weather. Just a couple things like that. So we'll go ahead and read off the team. Jalen Hurts, Jahmyr Gibbs, Marvin Harrison, Deebo Samuel, Devonta Smith, like that stack there. Then he goes Dalton Kincaid, then the aforementioned Deshaun Watson. Then his wide receiver 4 is Deontay Johnson, followed by his RB2 and Najee Harris, RB3 Tajay Spears, QB3 and Bryce Young, wide receiver 5 and Jacoby Myers, RB4 and Tyler Algier, and his wide receiver, 6, is Josh Downs. So where did you have this team ranked, Frank? Or did you?
I did have him ranked. Flag RJ, he was my 5th ranked team.
Okay.
Yeah, because are we going up from down or down up, right? Down
Yeah,
up,
that's
right?
yeah, you had it right.
So he's 5th ranked team on it. It's just different when we have our scoring, so we have to think about it backwards here. On that, so he did make the cut. I think, just again, a couple things that, like you're mentioning, Deshaun Watson, not my favorite guy to have there. but he did take a third wide receiver, so that kind of speaks, to the fact that he needs to get somebody to back up that weaker wide receiver and is your QB2. I mean, weaker QB with a QB2 with a QB3. But I like the build that he had. Jalen Hurts, Gibbs is his hero RB. Harrison Debo Smith takes his onesie tight end there up high, and Dalton Kincaid. Then he finishes off with his QBs, and then he just peppers some couple running backs in there as well. That he needed to fill in his room to get some backups. And he took some up shots in hopefully Tajay Spears and Tyler Algier there and see what happens with those guys in their respective teams. We already know Najee and the other guy are splitting. I forget his name, but Jalen Warren right next to him. Actually, he took him right before him. They're like 50-50 over there as far as almost in Pittsburgh. But I think Najee has the edge still. We were hoping Warren would take it last year, but he really didn't do too much more with it. But I mean, I think that's what everybody was looking at is probably the Deshaun Watson pick around that area. I think the rest of it's pretty decent build. I mean, I'm not going to, Josh Downs, I think he's injured now or no? I remember correctly about him.
Yeah, he's dealing with injury right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So got to keep an eye out for that kind of stuff, though, too.
High ankle sprain, too. And that can linger. We
Yeah.
all know Mike Evans. So AD Mitchell to the no, let's go. Oh,
yeah.
So
I know it's like early on that, but I mean, even early injuries like that, you kind of maybe, I mean, I guess if you take him as your last guy, it doesn't really matter as much. Definitely in the middle of these rounds, you might want to shy away from somebody. Again, like Anthony's, those high ankle sprains do linger, and you want to be paying attention to those injuries, especially now that they happen in preseason. You don't want a guy who's basically, limping along all year long because of a, good enough to play, but not good enough to be 100% type dude.
Right. Like everyone's playing hurt, but that's different. We saw what happened with Saquon. Didn't Cup have a high ankle? Obviously, we know about Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. Those high ankle sprains, man, are tough. And so to just get, Eckler last year, you could say that basically ended his career. So yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. Rafi saying Najee's just so inefficient. I find myself just skipping him at most times. That's kind of how I feel as well. Obviously, when the team doesn't what's it called? Take him up on his 5th-year option. That's a little telling. But we'll see what happens.
I just skip both of those guys almost all the time.
I mean, I like Warren just because he usually fits my build, and in full PPR, I like him because I think he'll still be the passing down back and the 2-minute drill guy. So, and he'll get some carries in the red zone.
PPR points for you.
For sure. And also Meckler says, yep, I always look right by him. So there you go. Everybody passed him. All right. So are we good there on Flag RJ's team? Oh, I didn't tell mine. So
What did you rank him?
Yeah, so he didn't make my top 6. So unfortunately, Flag RJ, you're probably about 7 or 8 for me. There was just, again, a lot of the things we mentioned. I don't want to kind of beat a dead horse there. But not a Watson Johnson fan, not a Harris fan. So just kind of lost me in those middle rounds. Not a Bryce Young fan either. So I didn't feel like that really backed him up. Not a Myers guy either on that offense. And then again, Downs being hurt. So just unfortunately, it didn't make my team. I like the start. I like the idea. The build is right. Just when we're splitting hairs here, in a tough room like this, you got to just look at those things. A lot of times it just comes down to personal player rankings, and we have to kind of go with that. So come back, Flag RJ, Ambassador. You're already in the Ambassador League. So we'll be playing against each other this year as we did last year. But yeah, man, I hope you make it in the tournament here. Just keep coming out, and we'll see what happens, man. Appreciate you. All right, man. So let's get into it.
Just mentioned hamstrings and groins are more frustrating. They linger all year and almost are always a scary day to day.
Yeah, I put high ankle sprains right in there as well too.
Yeah,
like to me, that's the trifecta. Those are like the 3 injuries I don't want someone dealing.
Don't want to see, right? Don't want to see. All right,
and the whole Herbert plantar fasciitis thing.
Oh yeah, what was that
scared
going
me
on
too.
With, right?
Yeah, that scares me too. But we'll get into that later. So a lot of injuries, man. They're starting to pile up now. They're getting there.
Have to do like a whole section of like this is the latest injuries.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. That'll be basically Monday's show. Heading into week 1.
Yeah.
So that'll be like because there's no recap to do. So basically, we'll be recapping the preseason, and setting up that week, basically. Like,
Yeah,
here's
yeah,
all the news. This is what we're thinking. Drafts are done. It'll probably be a lot of draft reviews. What do you think of my team? Who do we start? So I'm getting excited, man. I'm getting excited. All right, without any further ado.
As you can say.
Yeah, we're getting excited, man. We're getting excited. All right.
So,
So third place team and advancing to the August 30th finale. I wish I had a drum roll
Please.
sound bite. We don't have to do any noises or anything, but Frank, go ahead and announce the third place team.
So this one is Nick Rock 21.
Nick Rock 21.
Make it welcome to the finale, basically, right?
Yeah, you've been deemed one of the best 12 drafters in Get Right Fantasy Network community. Congratulations.
Fortunately, I did not have you ranked.
Hey! But that's how it works.
Anthony does. So I'm going to go ahead and read off your team here, give you my quick thoughts, and Anthony could give you some praise because obviously he liked your team.
Go right ahead, man.
So he starts off Jamar Chase here as his wide receiver here in the 10th spot. Joe Burrow, so he automatically gets that stack going.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk, Chris Olave, DJ Moore, and then he gets his second QB in Kirk Cousins. So literally no running backs up until this point. Then he starts taking DeAndre Swift over Chicago. George Kittle is his tight end here right after that. Then he takes a litany of running backs in Brooks, Williams, Eckler, and Chubb. He should because he got a good stack in wide receivers and picks his tight end already. So he just needed to build in his team with his running backs. Takes Jerry Jeudy and then takes a third QB in Justin Fields, taking a shot on him in case he does become the starter later on in the year and gets that job. So what are your thoughts on here, Anthony? I thought, again, I didn't rank him. I didn't care.
We're feeling it, huh?
The run of running backs that he take. That part of it basically is what threw me off. I did like the wide receiving core, Chase, Ayuk, Olave, Moore. I like the stack that he had right off the bat. Just not the running backs. That core just didn't do for me. But it did for you. So, hey.
Yeah, it did, man. It did for me. So I actually had this as my number one ranked team. Liked a lot of the guys in it. Obviously, you guys know I'm wide receiver, heavy. So to be able to get those 4 wide receivers, to me, it's one of the best wide receiver rooms. And then you have that Burrow to Chase stack. Obviously there's some question marks with IU, question marks with Olave, but as far as like talent wise, like I like these guys. I think they're good players and can overcome some situations as long as they get volume. And I feel like they project to get the most volume in their offenses as it stands as of right now. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Ayuk, but if he does go somewhere and someone pays him, it's going to be the number one option. So I don't think it really changes that much, as maybe his personal ranking goes down, but as far as him being that option is what, still keeps it there for me. Again, waiting on that second quarterback for a lot of people. Still, you got a deal with Kirk Cousins, with Mayfield kind of going first, and then he misses that Rodgers and Watson, which are guys, who didn't make the top 3. So just getting that quarterback just a smidge sooner, waiting as long as you could, but didn't wait too long.
Into the next
so I think it's right. And so I think he got it right in there. Exactly. Swift, we had this kind of conversation in our ambassador draft this morning because our own one and only Tycoon, who's has a Swift jersey hanging in his background. If you guys watch the fantasy boardroom, passed on Swift for Aaron Jones, and it shocked me. Kind of scared me a little bit because leading up into that moment, I was actually felt okay with Swift as my RB1 in a 0 RB build. Like to me, he was like a guy that I was like, all right, like I can deal with that, right? Especially if I'm built like you are above. Still gets kind of that nice value elite tight end in George Kittle. Don't like so much that team stacked, but again, it is the projected number 1 offense, so there should be enough to go around in that offense for them to put up fantasy points. So I don't mind if you're going to stack a team, do it at least with one of the best offenses, point wise projected. Gets a potential RB1 in Brooks. He's going to have to wait a little while for him. For this specific build, I probably personally would have went Mostert there, but I see the idea. And then he had to hammer Javonte Williams, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but obviously, what happened after preseason was pretty telling. To where it does look like he is going to get the work, over McLaughlin, but McLaughlin looked good as well. Looked like Estime was kind of the odd man out there with P. Ryan playing on third down role. So we'll just kind of see what happens in that backfield. Could be a 3-headed monster, which would be awful.
Terrible.
But we'll see. And then Eckler looks like he was playing on that first drive. He was kind of alternating with Brian Robinson, playing in the goal line, and was on the field on that big play to De'Ame Brown. He was actually running a go route about 10 yards closer than where De'Ame caught it. So he was, he almost thought the ball was for him. He was running trying to get it. If you go back and look at that replay, I don't know if anyone really noticed that. So it looks like they have him running like routes. So that encouraged me with his usage with Eckler there. Just again, my one concern, I wouldn't go Brooks and Chubb. Like if you're going to take your chance on a guy coming off an ACL, like don't double down on that. Just do one or the other. Right? Like do one or the other. But the fact that he has Williams and Eckler, I feel like he has somebody to start within the first couple weeks to see what happened with these two guys. And then if those two guys hit, talk about trade chips to get some wide receiver depth there, because like I feel like you've just missed out like on JSN and Watson where he took Brooks. And if Brooks hits, he'll be able to trade him for any one of these receivers that went within like the two previous rounds ahead. If you wanted to do that, if those other guys are at least producing enough for that build. But that's what zero RB is, and so I'm a fan of it. If you're not, if you're a little queasy, if you're a little queasy about it, it's not for the faint at heart to go zero RB like that. But to me, I don't want to say it was executed perfectly. Just there was a couple things I didn't like about my second place team that I felt were a little more, a little more drawn out here on this team, if that kind of makes sense. So in a full PPR 3 wide receiver league. So we'll get there because my second place team is either in second or first place as well too. So we'll get
Speaking of second place team, who came in second place, Anthony?
Did we announce it already? Or so that was it?
Since it's moving on, yeah. We're
already wow, no transition. Just right into it then, huh? Don't set up anything else.
Speaking of second place, like let's get
I mean, we could have like went to we have like chats, like we could have done like a little segue, like we're doing good on time. Damn, he was just like, all right, we're going.
Well, let's talk about Vince. Vince is back here. I like your drafting, Vince. I tell you what, I noticed your drafts. Is that I just have one share of Justin Herbert this season, and it's since Scott Fishbowl 14. Tough.
Yeah, that
tough,
plantar fascia. Yeah, he was probably when he was saying that. And if you're here, Vince, man, hey, you were my third place team, and you didn't even make top 6, and I'm pissed about it. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. I don't know if I just ruined it. And he's not going to watch the rest of the show, but.
Well, you could have just at least.
Hey, stake my claim. You're my third place team. You're my third place team, man. I thought you had a wonderful draft out of this 11th spot, but my fellow guys didn't like it apparently. So, hooey on them. Anyway, we appreciate the support. You coming out here, man. All right, so
both had Vince in the same spot.
Huh?
You and I both had Vince in the same spot.
Oh, so he was both our third place one. That's crazy, right?
I
so there we go.
At it right now. So yeah.
Eckler, I should have gotten lots come from my garbage basket.
Give him the shout out to Vince there because I do like his drafting. So, anyways.
Yeah, that's where you had to get to it. And he dropped the chat, man. If you drop the chat, we're gonna let you know. Raven Show, yo, is this live? Can I ask a question? No, man, it's pre-recorded. No, I'm just kidding, man. Just kidding. We are here, man. So ask away. I think he is dropping a question in there. Looks like it's about to pop up. Yeah, we got Ralph here, one of our moderators and ambassadors in here, telling him to ask away. That it is for sure. So he said thanks, and then all right, and I think it's coming in. There it is. All right, so yeah, you want to go ahead and go off of that? See what we got there.
It's a 12-team head-to-head full PPR, 3 keepers. I traded 2024 round 1.07. round 2.06 and 2025 third round for 2024 round 108 and a round 112. What should my strategy be? I want to grab a Lamar Mahomes stack and a round 307 and round 406. So he wants to stack Mahomes and Lamar, and Mark Andrews. I'm sorry, wants to grab Lamar and Mark Andrews stack in round 307 and then round 406. So basically, he knows he's going to get Lamar.
It's about right because it's 4 or 5.
And Mark Andrews around round 4, which it does come back around to you around that spot.
Should be.
So,
I mean, I like that because you're getting elite tight end. Go ahead.
I want to know what his keepers are. He has 3 keepers.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask that too. Like, that has me interested as hell. But I guess it's not pertinent to the question.
And it's always interesting to hear that keeper.
Yeah.
So if you're just on here, Raven Show, let's hear the keepers, just because we're just interested.
Just because I'm nosy. But I also want you to know too, Raven Show, man, if this is your first time checking us out, first and foremost, hit that subscribe button for us, man. But once you do that, go down in the description and you'll see it says join our private sleeper channel. It's on the Sleeper app, which is the draft board you see here. I'm sure you're familiar with it. If you're watching fantasy football shows, I assume you probably are. But if not, go check it out. But join that sleeper community, man. And what we'd love to do is either post a link to your league where we can actually like jump in and like view the other teams, or if you have like a link to the draft board with all the keepers and like the picks, I'd be happy to analyze it myself and give you just my personal feedback. And we also have our guy Phil Ruskin and Kendall on the Extra Point in the Fantasy Football Tavern. Well, they'll do actually full-on breakdowns. They'll just drop a show with a full-on breakdown and do that as well too. But the biggest thing is link up with us, man, through the Sleeper app, or if you're on X or Twitter, all of our info, man, there's more than enough information down in the description. And I'd love to continue this type of conversation with you offline, because Frank and I will spend like probably 30 minutes going over this, because this is awesome and this is the kind of stuff we love to geek out at. But I'd like to spend maybe the next day and a half going back and forth with you about it, and really see what's going on. So
if you're
for sure. Yeah. When you're throwing all those kind of things out there, yeah, like I got to take a minute to take all that in. If it was just like, oh, who to start, who to sit, that's easy to ask. But we do go over these type of questions, man. We just can't dedicate an entire show to it. So just make sure.
We still want to give him a question, but
so that's why.
It's actually first year. Have no keepers
so
yet.
Startup draft. Okay.
Did leave a like and a
hey, let's go. We appreciate it, man. For sure. So drop that same question in there, man. In the Sleeper, send us a DM, and we'll definitely get talking about it. So I know there's a bunch of guys who love chatting about it as well too. So without any further ado, we are going on. See, that's a transition, Frank.
A little bit, or just tell them to come back.
From what he said, yeah, like I don't think you can go wrong with Lamar and Andrews. There, I
think that you're going to get them in the spots that you're thinking.
Yeah, my whole other strategy too, when you're just playing keepers, obviously you want those keepers, to be, younger guys you're getting value on later. So don't take those veterans in the kind of that dead zone is kind of the only other kind of general suggestion I have for startup drafts. And with those and especially if you're playing with like a defense and a kicker, I don't know if you are, but in a keeper league, don't draft don't draft those positions. Just leave those positions blank. Cause I don't know, just depending on your rules, like for our keeper league with Frank in our home league, you can only keep a guy if you drafted him. So if you picked up someone like Puka or Kyron off the waiver wire, that guy is going back into the player pool next year. You had to have drafted him. We're rewarding how you draft. Yeah, and that's the only guy you can keep, and then it's run around penalties. So obviously stay young. Try to target those values at wide receiver that fall to you in that. Getting a nice stack like Lamar Andrews.
Take some shots late, man, on some of those really hopefuls, those lottery tickets late. Because if they hit this year, then you're going to have that guy for many years to come. If you do
Jamar Chase, I got in the 7th. He's been my keeper for the last 3 years as a 6th, 5th, and I think he's going to be my 4th round pick this year.
And you're still happy to take him in the 4th.
Yeah,
right?
And he's still top 4 pick. I'm getting in the 4th round. So yeah, so those are the kind of things you want to do. And I think I have Waddle as my 5th round pick, like right behind him.
So we had Joe Ortiz here. He's playing my first Superflex league this year. Thanks, guys, for the input, guys. Oh, nice.
Oh, for sure.
Superflex going in here.
Keep us updated on how you do throughout the year, man. Make sure you tune in with us in season. We're here live 4 nights. Actually, we have live shows all 7 days a week now.
Almost all 7 days a week.
So yeah, so we'll have questions for you guys to get answered. Go ahead.
We got Rafi going. Lots of different Superflex strategies. I've even gone to ship a couple of times, feeling that Superflex with a running back and a wide receiver score more than 25 play points ranked QB.
Yeah, in a full PPR league, those top wide receivers can score like running back or like quarterbacks. They score better than those QB3s in a full PPR, which is why in full PPR, especially 3 wide receiver and 1 or more flexes in a dynasty or a keeper, like if you're playing that many positions, getting those wide receivers in those spots are even almost more important than a super flex. So yeah. He says he's drafting in 12 days, man. Congratulations. I got a draft this Sunday. And I'm sure Frank and I might discuss our actual home league drafts when we end this stream. So we got to hurry up.
Draft dates after this show.
Yeah. Get our keepers. We got to set draft order. Like we got a lot of stuff to do here.
Yeah.
Commission, co-commish got to get working here. All right.
I plan to take in Bijan at 108 and MHJ at 1.12, then have him as my keepers plus Lamar.
Do you have any pick round penalties for your keepers? That's something important as well too, because in our league, again, you can't keep anyone you took in the first round because you can't give up anything higher than a first round pick. So the highest player you can keep is someone you got in the second round in our league, and then you have to take him as your first round pick the next year, and then you can't keep him anymore. So it just helps keep guys, in the flow. Yeah. So we'll see how that works.
Keep them in the same spot at all times. Like there's some keeper leagues where like you draft them in the 7th, then you always take them in the 7th or something like that, right?
Right. Or they just have like a cap on how long. Like they'll say, oh, you only keep him 3 years, and then he goes back in, but there's no round penalty, right? So again, just understand your rules there as well. Just overall keeper.
It's important. It's important.
Those are all important. Yeah, those are all real important on how you're going to draft. So
number 2, drum roll.
Yeah. So all right. So let's go to the number 2 team. Kept you guys waiting long enough. That's how you transition, Frank. That's how you do a transition. That's how you keep people watching the show and liking and subscribing to us. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing, man.
This is good content.
So there we go. And the number 2 team, the guy was with us here earlier. So we'll see if he's still here with us. He was in the chat earlier. So let's break it down, man. The number 2 team overall is going to be advancing to our August 30th finale in the mock draft tournament of champions. Go ahead, Frank. Who's number 2?
Awesome Eckler. Let's go.
Awesome Eckler. Is he still here in the chat? Let us know. Let us know. Oh, yeah. And also, Ravens, get in this mock draft tournament that we're doing here, man. I don't know if you've heard of a mock draft tournament before, but basically we're running mocks Monday through Thursday. You just come, draft your team at the time that you set up for on the day that you signed up for. It doesn't cost anything, but you can also win $50 cash. You try to get top 3 of your draft, and then you advance to the semifinal, which is the Friday mock, and that's what this is. Now we're announcing the winners who are moving on to our August 30th finale tonight, who are the top 3. So basically, it's a 4-week tournament where we're taking the top 12 people, dropping them all in a best ball league to play for $50 cash. Doesn't cost you anything except for your time to come out and mock with us, get some good practice in. So check it out.
And Eckler is here. Let's go. So yeah, Anthony's having a little mic issues. Yeah, it's getting better.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was crackling a little bit. You're good.
Okay, we're good now. All right. I thought I got excited and pulled the cord out again. That's how I ended the other show.
Good looking.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. We appreciate it, man. Help us grow. Tell your friends, man. Come out here, join us. Make sure you guys get in these mock draft tournaments. We do have spots available. So again, shoot me a DM or leave a comment on this video. Drop it in the chat, and I'll go back. Drop your sleeper handle in the chat, and I'll go back through and send you out an invite, man. So let's connect and get in this tournament, man. You guys can win $50 cash. All right. So congratulations, awesome Eckler, man. Let's read off the team.
So out of the 101 spot, Eckler, comes up with Mahomes here, as it is the Superflex. Saquon Barkley, Brock Purdy, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, and George Pickens. So he goes hero RB here with Barkley. He does take his quarterbacks early comparatively to the rest of the other people, but obviously it worked out. I ranked him as my second team. I really liked it. Then he finally takes James Cook as his second running back, which I really like. Ladd McConkey. Evan Ingram is tight end in round 9 here, so a good spot, good opportunity for Evan Ingram. He's been scoring well. DeAndre Hopkins here in the 10th. Then he gets Brian Robinson Jr. there in Washington, we would really like, starting over there. And Rico Dowdle here in Dallas, another good, awesome pick here late in the 12th. Backs up with Dallas Goedert on the tight end, and then takes a nice shot at Xavier Legette in the 14th here. Overall, really good construction on the team. I like the players that he has. I like that he just stuck to his guns, took 2 high quarterbacks where he got him at hero RB build. All good things. I like all the players that he's got, opportunities here with everybody. So what do you think, Ant? I think you had him ranked as well, right?
Yeah, so I had him ranked not as high as you did. I had Awesome Eckler here as my fifth ranked team. So I didn't have him as a top 3, but my points, his fifth place, my points that I gave him still helped him get here to second place. So congratulations, Awesome Eckler. And so for me, it's just a wide receiver room full of a bunch of wide receiver ones, or I'm sorry, wide receiver like twos. I don't think there's like a true alpha on the team, and then having McConkey as a wide receiver 4 scares me a bit. And then you have D-Hop. Both of those guys are, I don't want to say dealing with an injury, but we just talked about Herbert and his injury, so we saw what happened, with Easton Stick. He doesn't look great. We saw it last year, preseason didn't look great this weekend either. And then, of course, DeAndre Hopkins dealing with that injury, obviously being older. So we'll see what happens there. I do like, the running backs on this team, Barkley, Cook, B-Rob, Dowdle. And I like the guys that he picked, like in general. I just don't like how they kind of came together. And again, when we're splitting hairs at the top like that, still made my top 6. But again, it was that fifth place spot instead of a little higher. So
don't worry, everybody just liked you, bro. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, so it's all good, man. It's all good. So he said, let's go. Rafi said, good stuff. Awesome. We got everybody showing the love, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate drafting with you. And then Rafi, being the ambassador he says, check out and get involved with the sleeper group. Lots of good conversations, debates, and all around great group of fantasy degenerates, man. So man. So hopefully you come join us, man. It's a good time. Again, doesn't cost anything. It only costs you a little subscribe and a little bit of time. Come out and hang out with us when we're live, man. Ask all the questions you want. Contribute, give to the chat, take from the chat. That's what it's all about here. So Joe said he's on Sleeper, but he's computer illiterate. He finds it hard to navigate the sites. Bro, I can't use this site either. Like I could do enough to like get this draft board up here. But honestly, download the Sleeper app, man. The Sleeper app is where it's at. It's a lot more like mobile friendly than it is on the website. So just go to your Play Store, download the Sleeper app, log in with that same login that you have, and you should find that, even though the update they did is a little more confusing than the previous one. But if you never used the other one before, this one should be fairly simple. Yeah, it won't be all confusing like we all did when they did the crazy update. It wasn't just like minor changes. They like redid the whole thing.
I'm very computer literate, and I still have a hard time with this.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Yeah, like I'm.
It is about Sleeper, but it does have a lot of good stuff, a lot of great features. So
yeah, good features, good notifications. Yeah, good access to stats and things like that. Just quick. It has a lot of stuff there. So yeah, man, just play around with it. And you'll enjoy it. You can get mock drafts like this, and again, getting on our stuff. So yeah, man. So just
and you'll be
let's
first
get it done.
About injuries and things like that coming from us. I mean, telling you,
for sure.
First, trust.
Yeah, we get like alerts out there. Yeah, pretty quick. He says, "Are you nervous about Purdy's upside?" It seems to me he relies quite a bit on the run after the catch for points. Nobody's had this argument when Mahomes' receivers led the league in run after the catch. Like, I don't know why this all of a sudden is catching fire. Like, isn't the point of a quarterback is to throw guys open so they can catch and continue to run with the ball, not just get tackled immediately? Yeah. Like, isn't that the whole point of football? Like, we're saying there's a reason why we're going against this guy because he's doing something that you're supposed to do. So, Rafi, get out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that.
I drafted him in several leagues already.
But hey, if he loses IU, though, it does worry me a little bit.
He's dropped quite a few times already. People just overlook him, but he did finish QB6 last year.
Brock, yeah.
So I mean, that's all you need to know. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting it done one way or another. I am worried about the Brandon Ayuk situation, but I don't think he's going anywhere. But Purdy doesn't have Tyreek Hill. So yeah,
exactly.
And he's still getting it done.
He has a guy named Debo instead. It's a little different. He just runs through you and then keeps running.
I just got the Sleeper app yesterday. I was super confused. My boat switched over from ESPN.
Hey, it's going to be the best switch you've ever done, bro.
I can't stand ESPN. I was on there.
Yeah, no offense. Let's not scare Ravens show away right away.
Yeah.
But good switch, my guy. Good switch. You're going to love it, man. Once you get used to it, you're going to love it.
You a fan, bro. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. So yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Good stuff. All right. We made you guys wait long enough, man. We were hitting that hour mark, so let's try to start wrapping this thing up. But we appreciate the new viewers out here, man. Love it. Getting to meet you guys as we get going here for the season. Again, only 24 days away, so super excited. Again, make sure you check out all we have to offer here on Get Right Fantasy Network, and make sure you guys are also subscribing to our boys over at the Fantasy Football Tavern and the Extra Point. Their links are down in the description as well. There are affiliate channels. Again, Phil will be going live on Thursdays right before Thursday Night Football. He'll also be with me live doing show number 2 on Fridays of our start sits. Kendall's going to be dropping our pre-recorded videos, draft value guys, trade targets, those quick watches, things like that, doing a lot of research and numbers from behind the scenes there. And we'll be dropping those videos, working hard there. And of course, he'll be live as well. And then, of course, our boy over at the Fantasy Boardroom, Mr. Tycoon, again, he'll be with us and doing his shows on Tuesdays, and he'll be with us any Fridays he can make it as well. So we got a good lineup here for you guys, man, bringing you a bunch of different takes and outlooks on what we're doing here. So that is not just a bunch of the same people echoing the same stuff. As you can tell, our second place guy wasn't even ranked on Frank's top 6. So, it is what it is, man. We got a lot of different variances over here.
It was the number 1 on 3 different people's.
There we go. All right, so the number 1 guy, let's get to it. He is also in the chat right now, too.
Yeah, we already know. We know he's in the chat right now.
We know he's in the chat. Matter of fact, he's the one who has the most recent chat. It may look different on your guys's, but it's the most recent here with us. It says here, I agree 100%. The reigning 2023 Get Right Fantasy Mock Draft Tournament of Champions champion, Rafi 69 Bomb. Congratulations. You have earned your opportunity to defend your title. So congratulations, man. Our number 1 ranked team. And I swear when I saw it, man, I was like, are you kidding me, man? This is going to look so rigged. But he was here last week. He didn't win the first week, so it took him 2 weeks. He did make the semifinal 2 weeks in a row. So he obviously, again, Ambassador, almost catches every show. Obviously, you see how active he is here in the chat. So he knows us maybe better than we know ourselves. But congratulations, Rafi, man, on your chance to defend your championship, brother. So there we go. Uno Goss was holding out, thinking he had it, man. Sorry, Uno Goss. You had a good team here. We'll get into it. I'm sure you'll hit me up and we'll go over it. Yeah, actually, Classic Mike, he was your 3rd place team there, Uno Goss. So there we go, man. Everyone's saying congrats to Rafi.
Joe's confident, though. He said, it would be me if I was drafting. Damn.
Hey, there we go. It's because he says he hates the Niners, but he's drafting as many as I can. All right. So that's cool. All right. So I guess I'll take it. Hey, I know, Frank. I was surprised you didn't put that up.
I just do what's smart for my team at the time.
Right. There we go.
I just want to win money. I mean, let's face it. I'm one of these best ball leagues. It's $25 to get in for $1 million. I'm going to do the right thing.
Oh,
I'm not
man.
just going to be playing, I'm a Cowboy homer and I'm not going to take any 49er. No, I'm going to take the guy who's going to be scoring the points for my team.
It just comes down to numbers. Take the name off the jersey, right? And take the logo off the jersey. So Damon, who knows Thanos now, we'll keep working on that. He says he knew he shanked this draft. We'll get into it, man. And Uno Goss was saying, he wish he made the top 6. This thing I love about this tournament, man, is people care. Like, it's not just like, I'll just do this draft. Like, everyone's trying to advance, man, and get to it. And they want to get, that recognition for having the top draft, man. That's why we all play this game. It's for that ego. It's for that recognition. And then they come back harder and stronger every next week. They, hear what we say and they keep applying it. I see people adjusting their strategies. And again, a lot of times it just comes down to that randomization of that draft spot. And who you're drafting before and after and what player pool you have available. Sometimes, your fate is set there. But yeah, that's what I love about it, man. It's a lot of fun. Rafi's giving you the love saying, Unagas, you would have been in his top 6. So there we go. And Mason said he didn't like his team. He regrets a couple of things, but he'll be back next week. So that's what we're just talking about. I literally just got the notification of him joining one of the mocks this week here, man. So I love it. Yeah, he's already in there. He's like, damn it, I'm getting in there. So there we go.
Just join Sleeper or whatnot, and join our Sleeper channel. We do have a pinned thread there with the mock drafts that are
lobbies,
coming up. The lobbies this week. So go in there and pick a draft date and get in a mock that you can. I mean, how many spots are
or just DM me, man. Just DM me at least. Like, you don't have to do all that if it's too crazy for you. just find my sleeper handle, which is Rastafarian, real easy down there, and send me a DM. Let me know what day you want in, and I'll shoot you the link directly, man. So let's get in there. Raven says, what days and times do y'all go live? We read it off in the very beginning of the show, but I won't make you rewind it. And it is scrolling down at the bottom as well there too. But basically Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Mondays and Wednesdays is about this time. We start at 9 p.m. Pacific. What is that? Midnight on the East Coast. And then on Fridays, we'll be doing a morning East Coast show at 6 p.m. Pacific, and then another one at 8 p.m. Pacific to split the Sunday games up. Just so it's not two of us doing a 4-hour show. We're splitting it amongst 4 people so we can continue to answer all your guys' questions, man. All of our live shows, we're taking live Q&A and interact with our chat. So again, more than welcome to come out here. And then of course our other guys on the tavern, Kindle and Phil on Thursdays. He's live at 4 p.m. And then Tycoon will be live at about 7 p.m. Pacific. These are all Pacific times. We're here in Cali. So yeah, so just come join us, man. We'll be in here. Yeah, hit that notification. Isn't there like a notification thing on YouTube?
Yeah, the bell.
Yeah, hit the bell. There you go. We're too old for that stuff. But yeah, hit the bell, subscribe, and then you'll know when we're live. And then once you know, then you can turn it off, I guess, and then you'll just
you
be
want to
here
leave it
with
on.
us.
Don't tell people that. We need.
I mean, it's just, you get notifications. I'm just saying, like, that doesn't really make a difference to us. It just means you're gonna come know when we're live. Once you know the schedule and hey, Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'm here with Frank and Anthony. That's what we're gonna do. So you just build that habit. Then you don't need the reminder anymore. Then it's just like waking up.
I get you. You're
yeah. All right.
Let's
get out of here. All right. So
Rafi and Eckler made the top 3 easily.
Yeah. So, there you go. We were fighting over
let's read off his team. Let's read off.
Yeah. Let's finish this thing off. I got excited. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So Rafi Bomb in the second spot. Actually, I think I read the last one off. Go ahead. You go first. I'm sorry.
All right, that works. All right. So Rafi here in the 2 spot goes a little unique here, which is hilarious. We're kind of talking on the on the live stream. Decides to opt from one of the top quarterbacks and just goes Tyreek Hill. Goes to Tagovailoa to get the stack. Then he grabs Jonathan Taylor's RB1 and a hero RB build. Goes Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford with the stack there. So double stacked. And then still gets Godwin and as his wide receiver 3, flexes Ridley. Gets his RB2 and Zamir White. Snag. And this is what I love about going with a hero RB build. This is what you kind of have to do. Once you grab that RB2, don't panic and kind of go with a bunch of running backs here.
Right,
sneak in one more wide receiver in there, I think, before you go later.
That's why Nick didn't make it for me, because he was just like,
right.
Those, you know what I mean? Like, I was
right.
Like, he just like went one way and the other. That's it.
There you go. So that's, a nice spot. And then, I'm big on Brown and Ford and Fairmouth here late. Big time Conklin fan. And right. I mean, I could have maybe preferred another wide receiver down here, but who you taking? Gabe Davis, Jerry Judy. Like maybe I would have took a shot on AD Mitchell or someone like that here instead of Wright. He just has 2 people ahead of him. But older guy and guy who gets hurt a lot. So, and he did score a touchdown this weekend. So yeah, I mean, feeling right, not bad.
Another choice that would have went in there nice. I think either one of those guys I would have took right there.
Yeah, I'll take the guy higher.
You mentioned different build. I mean, if you look at the board, everybody went. The first 5 guys were like basically quarterback, but he was the second one guy right off the bat because Tyreek Hill. The double stack is what got it for me. Tyreek Hill, Tua, then hero RB with JT.
Starting to like that. You've been playing a lot of best ball, I could tell.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp and
starting to see the advantage that brings now.
No, I mean it it looks right. It just feels right. You know what I mean? Kupp and Stafford that he ends up going with here in the 4th and 5th. Again that double stack that he's already got going. Chris Godwin, Calvin Ridley, Zamir White over here in Vegas should be getting a good amount of touches as well. So
he said he would have went Algier instead of right there.
Oh,
if you could do it again.
Yeah.
I like that.
One of those guys, any one of those guys would I'd still be fine with this the whole draft. J-Mo, who's getting a lot of hype, early hype this season that he's playing more routes, more the position instead of just a deep pass type of guy. He's expanding his, basically his route tree and doing more things over there. We both like Brown and Ford this year. Anthony loves Pat Fairmouth. I'm Pat Fairmouth again, also here, and Tyler Conklin at the end. Why not? He's a decent tight end to like have as a backup here. I might have went with the third QB, but regardless of that, he was still my top guy. He was Mike's type guy, Phil's top guy. I'll give him number one, and Tycoon also ranked him, and as well as Anthony. He literally took it away, other than Kendall, which I don't actually Kendall didn't score. He was on everybody who's ranked. You were on everybody's score sheet basically, so that tells you that you got a good team. You did it up right. Yeah, I mean that's a good team. I'd be happy to start that team, field that team right now.
For sure. Yeah, I think it was well done. Unagoss said, what should he done differently? And as you were naming off those guys that Rafi should have taken, he said, all those guys you mentioned are on my team. So what did he do wrong? But congratulations, Rafi, man. You know what to do. You know how it rolls. You've been paid the cash. So again, reigning champ is back in there to defend it. So congratulations, brother. Appreciate you. Glad you're live. Makes it even better when the guy wins first place is here live with us. So again, just shows you the dedication, man, and the support we have from you guys out there. So there we go. Joe was asking, what is your sleeper handle again? He said, never mind, I got it. That means he's up in the descriptions. He's all up in my descriptions right now. I love it, Joe. Send me that DM. Get in this mock draft tournament, man. I want to see you in here. I want to talk about your team on Friday. I want to see you drafting live, and then I want to come back and talk about it here on next Monday, man. So hopefully you get in there. I want to see you and Raven Show in one of these drafts here this week, man. So hopefully I see you guys in there. And remember, anyone who is interested in that Guillotine League, Get Right Fantasy Network Guillotine League, we decided here live on the air that we're going to do one this year.
We're going to do one this year.
Yeah, the first 16 people aren't guaranteed per se, because like if Phil and Kendall and Mike want to kind of get in,
involved,
we're going to get the crew involved too, of course, because we do need 18. And, you know, we don't like to take up an entire league when it's just a 12-person league, but an 18-person league, we got to get all of us in it, hopefully. And so, yeah, so a Guillotine League. So DM us. First people we get that show up, we'll go in order. You'll get the invite to the league. We'll get it all set up and go from there, man. So he said, I think I sent you a DM. You probably did. I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah,
if not, it went to somebody else, but that's all right. That's all right. So, yeah, so do you want to talk about Unogoss's?
Yeah, we'll take a second. I just wanted to mention we already had the guys draft earlier today. I mean, for the Monday, for tomorrow's that we're already looking at. So there, you know, the drafts keep going and keep happening. So get in there as soon as you can. Get your draft in. We'll check out your teams, see if you make the cut. If not, like some of these guys say, they already know. They're already like, we're coming back again even stronger next week. So keep it up. And we're getting close to the season here. So now is no better time now than now just to get as many mocks as you can in with people who are actually mocking, not just a computer, to see, how people are actually building proper teams and getting things there. Using strategies, not just, hey, we take the best player available. Right. I think that's a lot what we're trying to be about, is not just best player available and this you might as well just let the computer draft for you at that point. Right,
for sure. Yeah, be fluid, know your different builds, which we have down in the description as well. Understand
and your tiers.
What the makeup of that is. And biggest thing too is don't combine, different builds. Like if you're going to wait on QB, don't also wait on tight end and wait on running back as well. Like you got to understand like how to make the build work based on your position and player pool available, guys you're comfortable with. Again, another one of my little tips for draft season here is have your tiers, man. Like maybe you don't necessarily do rankings, but put guys in tiers. Guys that you feel are pretty all similar, and then at least, hey Mason, I just got your DM about the Guillotine League, so we'll get you in. So yeah, so just make sure that I don't even know what I was saying on that now. I got excited about the
YouTube. Make your own tiers.
Oh yeah, have your own tiers. Have your guys in the tiers that you want. Maybe not necessarily your rankings. It's not as tedious, but just have your tiers so when these guys come up, they all feel about the same. And if you feel someone like that's going to come back to you, and if not, then take your guy then. And so that'll make your draft go, a lot easier.
George teases, I think I'm gotcha 420 on sleeper.
Hey, our kind of guy.
Get right before you start our show, bro.
Get right. There it is. All right, my guy. We'll try to write that down. Got you 420. All right. I'll try to send you a DM here myself. Oh yeah, there he is. Let me accept his friend request. So there we are. And I think we are connected. Gotcha. Look at that. Live on. There it is. I say, what up? See, just like that, guys. That's how easily accessible we are. And we respond right away. Look at that on a live show. That's what we do for you, man. All right. So connect with us, Joe. We'll get you invited to all things Get Right, man. Welcome to the community. Hopefully you have a great season here with us. We'll guide you through all the way. Go through your ups, go through your downs. That's the best part of this show. Is we'll overreact on Mondays, give out our game balls, get ourselves together by the start of the new week, brush it all off. And my favorite part, man, is week 17 celebrating together.
Yeah.
And talking about our playoff runs, man.
Who's getting
For
there.
sure. Bring yourself
Get
home one of
chip.
these bad boys,
Yeah. Get the
So
rings
there we
in
go.
there.
TrophySmack.com for you guys that don't know. Promo code
So
Get Right.
Might as well do the read on that. So
Yeah, go ahead.
As we're talking about Trophy Smack, they are one of our sponsors. So if you do go to Trophy Smack, we suggest you guys go ahead and add $7 to your league. That's all it is, and then you could get a ring like Anthony has. They also got belts, trophies, even chains, and even like stuff for the losers. Kinds of different stuff this year. I forgot one of the items I was going to mention. But you just take your league to the next level. Who doesn't want to have those bragging rights? You know what I mean? You can come into the draft room and just showing off your bling. Let them know. Just use our code Get Right Fantasy there when you check out. Links in the description also right here down here. So if you want to just go check out, Trophy Smack, check out their stuff, and get something. Suggest it to your league mates. Hey, let's all go in on a trophy. Let's go on a ring. It's only a couple bucks. Divided a bucket. Everybody else here at the beginning of the league. Now's the time. Use the code Get Right, and get you some swag, man.
Cool. I'm still just chatting here with Got You 420, man. I'm over here with Joe. We're just chatting away now. So yeah, so there we go.
Give me 1 second here.
Got our guys over at underdogfantasy.com too, man. Of course, just so you guys know, your best ball drafts, your best ball mania. We're here on Wednesdays doing that, so we'll get into more of that on Wednesday. It's basically kind of a whole underdog promo show, but we love doing our best ball. We only have a couple more weeks to get these drafts in for these tournaments. As you guys know, I placed 42nd place out of over 70,000 people, 70,464 to be exact. So placed 42nd out of that, turned my $4 into $400. Wish it would have been a little higher and made a little more money on that, but I'm not displeased with that return. So again, that's being out here drafting the stuff that we're telling you about. It shows you it does work. Again, no promises, of course, no guarantees when you're doing underdog fantasy. Of course, play responsibly. But if I can come out here and do it, you guys can do it too. Just make sure you're in one of the states there, and make sure when you sign up, use that promo code Get Right, and there we go. All right, so we'll get into those other reads later. So yeah, man. So let's end the show here.
Yeah.
Great show tonight, man. Got a couple new subscribers. Appreciate you guys. Great connecting with you. We'll be back here on Wednesday again with that best ball. Maybe Best Ball Mania. They've dropped a couple new tournaments, so we'll see what might still be available. They had a Superflex poodle, I think, there for $10. A couple other things. So we'll see what's there on Wednesday. If not, we'll always do a Best Ball Mania. That always gets exciting for 1.5 million. We hopefully can draft it live. So I'm ready to do that.
Want to get on that draft with us on Wednesday. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll let everybody know ahead of time before we click the button. So hopefully we could all sync in, click in together, be in the same draft together.
For sure. So that'll be a lot of fun. Damon's out here saying thanks. Great show. So we appreciate you. Can do without you guys. From all of us over here at Get Right, man, we appreciate it. From Dustin to Classic Mike, who was over at the Fantasy Football Expo this weekend, had a great time. Hopefully learning got a bunch of new stuff, maybe making some connections guys will have here
He also went to
that you're watching. Yeah, Football Hall of Fame. He had a good time over there, man, over in Canton. So he'll be back with us here. Again, congratulations to our top three, Awesome Eckler, Rafi, and Nick Rock. Congratulations. We'll see you guys August 30th. Keep your eye on your DMs. I will get you the link to the league as well as your invite. So keep an eye on that. It'll come sometime tomorrow. And other than that, man, like I said, for Dustin, for Mike, for Kendall, Phil, Tycoon, Frank, and myself, this is Get Right Fantasy Network. We'll be back here on Wednesday. You don't have to go home, but you can stay here. All right, guys. Peace out.
Wanted to write fantasy is the play. Mark